Bye.
And we're back.
And we're back. Wait, what's this one about?
I don't know. It's Superfan Edition or whatever.
Superfan Edition.
The Girl Talk Edition.
The Girl Talk Edition.
Yeah.
I don't have your chart.
I brought it because I wasn't sure what we were doing.
Sweet.
Awesome. We can do charts. I can do Rachel's again.
Yeah. That would be fun
Okay,
to talk about
so...
again. Or I started Empire of Storms.
You did?
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
like 100 pages in.
Yeah, I can't wait to start it. I've been like holding off on it. Ooh-wee! We're going to talk about some stars and some charts.
I'm Rachel, and I'm a Sagittarius.
And I'm Hannah, and I'm a lovely Libra.
And I'm Kate, and I'm an Aquarius.
A quirky little Aquarius.
A Libra rising and a Taurus moon.
God, I love you.
Yeah.
I love you.
Is it hot in here or is it just me tuning in to hear these three chatting about fantasy novels of the spicy variety? Not your average book club, if you know what I mean. Are you happy to see us, or is that a dagger? It's Feast, Sheath, Shatter. It's Feast, Sheath, Shatter.
You do. Thank you. I'm happy to be the one Sagittarius in your acquaintance.
Well, your Sagittarius is subtle, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. And we started to do this last week, but what happened was Rachel failed, and
the first time. I'm just kidding.
for the first
time
I
since
thought
she was
for the
born.
first time in forever,
Normally I catch it. I don't
Rachel
know. I
failed
just
us
didn't.
big.
It was late. It was like Sunday.
It was late, yeah.
First time in forever.
Thank Thank you for
What is
that.
that from?
Frozen.
Oh,
Frozen.
okay.
It's Disney,
I don't
so
even
we're
know.
definitely getting sued now.
Yeah, because people are listening.
Copyright. Hey.
Oh, did you know?
There's like 7.
I know. I'm so sorry.
7 listeners?
I'm hitting this a lot today.
Yeah.
You know, our Serpent in the Wings of Night has like 100 and some. Like
Stop.
we average like 40, but that one specifically has like
Cool.
100.
Maybe if people Googled that book, it would have come up.
Yeah.
That makes sense because people love that book and people weren't catching on quick enough.
Yeah.
The second book's
We'll get there.
it's fine. I need to pull up Rachel's chart. Okay, let's see.
I love your vamping. I'm pulling up a chart.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, vamping. When you just like talk, fill
Yeah.
the space.
Just like an ad lib.
It's called vamping.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Why?
I don't know.
Oh, interesting. Well, y'all vamp while I try and remember how my phone works.
Vamp it up, vamp it up.
Rachel
Gonna vamp it up.
Hoover.
Yeah, we can't have silence. Keep forgetting that.
Can we have silence?
I don't think
so.
No.
Document.
Maybe not a YA series next.
Rachel, what is
No.
We select it.
And see,
Strange
Joe
Democratically.
Abercrombie,
Book
I
Club.
think you would
Dual
like
natal
it.
chart.
It's so not young adult.
Jump on my Audible. I already have one of those books on there. I don't know if you want to do Audible books, so I know you like to read your words.
I don't think I do well with audiobooks. I do if I'm like in a car ride
Sure.
or it's Atlas Shrugged. And that's pretty much the only book I can listen to.
Atlas
Audible.
fucking shrugged.
Yeah, I've probably listened to it
So
like
weird.
7 or 8 times.
So fucking weird.
I love Atlas Shrugged. I just fast forward through the weird
You know-
sex scenes now.
Did I tell you what? Yeah. Did
Yeah.
I tell you what book I tried to listen to on Audible and it doesn't work? Infinite Jest. Nope. Don't do it. It's not made to be listened to.
I think you told me not to get the audiobook for Serpent and the Wings of Night.
So I've never.
And I did because I forgot.
No, I didn't say that.
It wasn't out
I
for a
said
while.
it wasn't out.
It just came out.
Well, it just came out.
It just came out. And you know whose voice it is?
Someone terrible?
No.
don't like it.
She's the one that does Ice Planet Barbarian. So she's Georgie from Ice Planet.
I'm like,
and then I
oh,
saw
'cause
his
I'm
giant
reading the book.
nub, and I saw his giant.
Yeah, why is
penis.
everything so jokey? Like her voice is very like not taking this seriously. And when I was reading the book, I'm thinking I'm reading it like very serious.
She's a very
Well,
very
it's
serious.
on. Do you have Kindle Unlimited?
Yeah.
It's on there.
I know, that's why I started it.
Oh,
But then I saw it come up on my Audible.
You paid $15 for it.
$16.99. I'll return it. You can return stuff.
If you haven't listened to too much, right?
Yeah, but you didn't use a credit. You actually paid for it.
No. I used a credit.
Oh my God.
I know.
I know. I'm so upset.
And I heard her voice and I was like, ew.
So I thought it was cute because I liked Ice Planet. So
Yucky.
Can't you listen to a sample first?
Yes.
you should have the best voice. So I have a suggestion for the mass verse, and this is just like me dreaming.
Okay, dream on.
But if we ever do get some sort of in-game type huge fucking crossover, what if the book was read by all three of our narrators? The the Ekatar narrator, Silver Flames narrator.
Ector.
Akatar.
Is that how I said it?
Yes.
You said Akatar.
Let that slide. I am so sorry.
Oh, no, it's fine. I don't know
Yeah.
why. Akotar? Because it's weird. It makes my mouth like dribble.
Yeah.
Like, it's too much spit.
You have a lot of spit anyways.
I do have so much spit. I need to be doing my
That's the same. Maybe
my
it's
old pulling.
Matt
I need
will
to
stop and be like
I need to pull.
dramatically swallow.
I
I'm
know.
like,
I
I need
need
to cut that out.
I need to pull the oil so I can. With my Akhtar. So
In
we
your
got
breeches.
Farrah's verse.
Okay.
The lady that
Yes,
did.
yes.
The lady that did Akotar. The woman that did Throne of Glass and Crescent City.
Elizabeth
And then the
Evans.
woman that does Nesta. There's three of them. Although I do think there was a narrator switch in Akotar from the first to the second.
There was.
Because the first lady didn't pronounce any of the words right.
There was a narrator.
There was a
switch.
narrator change somewhere down the line.
Yeah.
like Dan.
And I remember it really threw me off.
Yeah, because it's a whole different fucking sound.
It really threw me off.
Yeah. But what if you got the good one from Akotar? The one that pronounces Resand, and not
Recent? Like recently?
Resend. My friend, I told you about how my friend was like,
Yeah.
Kate, it's a Recent. And I was like, the fuck it is.
I will fight
It is.
you.
I will fuck you up. It's Resand. Reese. Thank you.
Reese for short. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you got all those narrators to come in,
I don't see why that can't happen.
well, it costs a lot of money. And I've also learned
She's got money.
It's fine.
she does have money. She is a author that makes 7 figures.
Yeah, she's good to go.
She's living the dream.
She is Elizabeth.
Yeah.
She's living the dream. And I will argue with you and say that they are not objectively bad because there is something about her storytelling that connects to people more so than most books. And I don't think it's the editor. I think there is something about these books.
Yeah.
They feel very, I don't mean this negatively, but they
Are
feel
you
very
sure?
entry level. They feel very attainable. They don't feel like I'm reading Atlas Shrugged. They feel like I'm reading something entertaining and enjoyable that has an interesting message.
But it's also a good story.
Right. It's a very attainable story.
The world.
But there's a lot of authors.
I'm not saying that negatively. I'm saying
I
like
think you
it has
are.
it has a broad appeal.
Yeah.
It's like artists talking to artists. So when artists talk to other artists, there's a language they use. There's a way that you talk about art to other artists that you don't necessarily talk about the art that way to somebody who isn't an artist. So a lot of writers are writing for other writers or they're writing for avid readers. And so when you have a writer who is writing for everybody to read, it's a far more attainable story.
That's what that story was
and
saying
it doesn't
about.
feel gatekeepy. It feels like she's writing a story that everyone can sit down and read, even if you haven't read a novel since high school.
Yeah, that is true. That's what that guy was saying about Brandon Sanderson.
And that's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
It's perfectly fine to write novels that people can read and enjoy, but you're not speaking the I'm writing to a writer or I'm writing to a reader, an
Yeah.
avid reader.
Yeah. I'm writing to be taken seriously versus
Yeah.
I'm writing to bring joy.
I'm writing to create an entertaining story that people find meaning in.
Yeah.
Yeah. That people can read and enjoy, and they don't have to feel like I had to have a PhD in creative writing to
Right.
understand where you were going with that.
Yep.
I get that.
Yeah. Okay, back to
So it's really not a bad thing.
No,
It's fine.
not a bad thing. It's fine. Twilight's
It is
the
what
same.
it is. Yeah.
She writes this. Stephanie Meyer is very much the same. She's a good writer, but she writes for,
But you know what Sarah Janet did to set herself apart? She added that spice.
yeah.
Just a tad bit.
Well, because Stephanie Meyer's Mormon, she's never going to have spice.
Yeah,
Well,
and she
I don't
also thinks
know.
people
They really
have
did
one.
destroy that bedroom On their honeymoon.
Jesus. Yeah, and then he withholds for the next whatever till she has the baby. Did you read the last Breaking Dawn or whatever?
I mean, I've read them all. Yeah, I just don't remember them. They were. I can tell I don't like something a lot when I don't reread it.
Yeah. They have sex on their wedding night, whatever, because they waited that long. And she gets like a bruise. And he's like, I hurt you. I'm never touching you again. And she's like,
until
no,
she's
it's
a
fine.
vampire.
She's like, no, it's fine. I want to be with you. And he's like, nope. We're done.
Edward's such a bitch.
That's my problem with Twilight, is Edward is emotionally abusive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
But it's framed as romantic. Oh, he doesn't want to hurt her.
Oh, so
As
sweet.
if she doesn't have any say in this at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I told you I was Team Jacob.
They just force fed us like toxicity for a really long time.
They really did.
Like
I'm telling you.
Most of human history. I feel like it stopped in like 2020. And then people all of a sudden were like, we're not dealing with this fucking bullshit anymore.
It's a very Western male gazy thing because you have other cultures that have literature where it's extremely sex positive. Like Gilgamesh, literally the first story we have, which I feel like I talk about on like every drunk pod. We're like, let's talk about Gilgamesh. But Gilgamesh is literally like, he has Enkidu, his little buddy, and he's feral. And so he has to civilize him. So he gives him to like the temple of sex. And he has sex for like 7 days straight. And it teaches him how to be a person. And there was literally like, I am a priestess and my entire job is to like use sex as therapy to help people.
Interesting.
So,
Yeah.
So the reason why she really likes Gilgamesh and drinking is because her Mars is in Libra. I'm just kidding. All right, so we're going to talk about Rachel's chart a little bit, just because we'll get a little perspective
I found that super helpful.
Why Hannah and I like things and why Rachel likes things and why sometimes those things aren't the same and because no one's the same person, and that's perfectly fine. Also, Rachel's eye for criticism. Nope, that's not how I want to say that.
Nope.
Naturally a critical person. And when I say critical, I don't mean like negative. I just mean someone who is in touch and connected to language enough to explain why something is the way it is, especially when it comes to like these kinds of books. Like,
love it.
I can't tell you, and that's because I have a Capricorn Mercury, but it's fine. So we're going to start off. We know Rachel has a sun in Sagittarius. And we know a lot about Sagittariuses. Sagittariuses are the philosophers of the zodiac. They are all over the place. When I think of a sign that is restless and energetic and constantly, this is the sign where like I look at the way they live their life and I'm like, holy shit, I could never do that. But I'm also jealous of the way they're doing it. Like, people who travel and have these spirits where they can just run into a new place, they're constantly craving novelty and newness, and they don't like repetition. So that says a lot about why you might not have finished any of these. It's just you get a taste of something just enough, and then as soon as it lets you down, you're like, see ya, I'm done with you.
And it's all about the chase too.
It's a lot about the chase and becoming aware of it, yeah. And then her rising sign is in Scorpio. She has a very mellow, like even-keeled energy, and I think the Scorpio element as your rising sign really helps to balance out the Sagittariusness, which is why I forget that you're a Sagittarius, because it's a very like sedated. It's sedated by your other signs, if that makes sense. So Scorpio is not like, out of all of the signs, when I think of Scorpio, I think of the most resistant, hesitant, and least trusting. They are not going to. You earn a Scorpio's trust. You are not given trust. While I think that some people, like for me, I trust you until I don't trust you. I think that with a Scorpio, you sit back and you watch and you pay attention. And if something is, you learn about it before you pull it through or pull it in. And in a rising sign, your rising sign, there's a lot more to a rising sign, but I think I said this last time. But of course we didn't publish that pod, so never mind.
Sorry.
This is the first time I'm saying it. Your rising sign is the sign it's the sign that was on the horizon. The planet that was on the horizon, sign on the horizon when you were being born. So it kind of, your natal chart, it basically kind of configures wow.
Did y'all hear that?
The mic heard it. I heard it in my ears.
Yeah, I heard
That
it
was a
in
tummy
here.
rumble.
That was a tummy rumble.
But it kind of like turns it, right? So it like reconfigures almost your entire chart. And a lot of astrologers, or a lot of people, hobbyists, professionals, whatever, put a lot of emphasis on the rising sign. I don't really know more about it than just, it's the way that you present. It's the way that you come off. It's why you are not.
Mine has a really good description for a rising. Like it kind of gives you a little blurb of what this is.
Look at that.
And it said something like it's how you're going to reach your potential.
Yeah, I've seen that before. I've heard that before. Your moon is in Aquarius. Ugh, that's challenging. That's really tough. It's really tough.
Yeah.
It's a tough placement for the moon.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
It's hard to be me.
Terrible. Not just kidding.
Ish.
Are you mad?
As an Aquarius, you can say that.
Okay. So, and then
Are you mad?
are you mad at me? And then I think your moon is in Libra, right? So top 3, you've got water, emotions, feelings, Sagittarius, restless, all over. Then you've got Libra, which to me, the scales. So I think of justice. I think of balance. I think of
Perfection.
perfection. I think of, well, that's ruled by Venus. So a lot of times I think of like beauty and like aesthetic and like design. And then also Libras are they're air signs. So they're relational signs. So Libras are very flirty.
False.
Yeah, I know. So that's not where we're going to put, it's not a word we're going to use.
No.
But not with a moon with your emotional side. So like maybe with your husband, like your moon is your internal and emotional piece. Like, do you flirt with your husband? Yes, I see you do it. And I'm like, ew, why are they so cute? Get out of here.
You are. They're so cute.
Ew, why do they like each other? That's not how it's supposed to work.
Ooh.
Sorry.
It's
Don't hate him.
fine. But like, so there's this like trichotomy of
Dichotomy.
that's a real word, right?
Yes,
It sure is.
Good.
Yes,
I like
I
it.
love it
If
when
it isn't,
I-
it is now.
I love it when I use real words. So you've got this like Libra, warm, affectionate moon inside. The way so like once you know somebody, I know that you're like kind and caring and like have a soda, have some pizza, like come on over. But you've got this resistance to you at first, and then there's this like fire that's kind of like closed off and hiding until you read about Selena Sardokian, and then you realize that you hate her because you have a lot in common. It's fine.
Right. So that's
So
what
you
we
hate- you
decided last time
you,
was
you hate Selena because she has character traits that you hate. So
Yes.
that's fine.
about yourself.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of times the fiery signs I struggle with. I'm like, why are you such a fucking Aries right now? It's big.
It's very
Big
hard for
energy.
me. Yeah.
Big energy. And I think Selena and Aelin have nothing but fire and earth. There's like this just constant, and I bet that 200-year-old Elena, I mean, Aelin is amazing.
I bet she really is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's had time to kind of.
200,
Yeah.
300-year-old Aelin is probably like
When she settles,
perfect. I mean, even 40-year-old.
after she's had a few children.
Children.
Certainly,
Several.
almost 40-year-old Rachel is far more settled than 19-year-old Rachel ever was.
Yeah,
Yes. So
for sure. And then
I can see that.
your top 3 we've done, your bottom or your small 3, lower 6. Moon, nope, we already did that. So Mercury, Venus, and Mars. So your Mercury is the way that you communicate. It's the way that you think, the way you process. And yours is in Scorpio. And I actually don't know how that shows up, but I do know that Scorpios when they're very deep. There's a lot of depth. And when you have signs in a Mercury placement that are a lot of depth, you're going to get that really critical eye. You're not going to like things immediately. You're going to be hesitant. You're going to be resistant. You're going to be like, why do I like this? What? And you're going to have feelings about it, right? It's a water placement. So you're going to kind of use your emotions to figure out what you like about it, what you don't like about it, which is really makes a lot of sense as to why you're so good at putting things into words and articulating what it is that you're reading and seeing and feeling. And then your Venus, which is the way that you connect with others and the way that you love, is in Sagittarius. So a high sense of morality in a relationship. Are you kidding me? Are you serious? You?
Me?
You? Moral?
You? Moral? Like a high sense of morality in a relationship. So come on. That is literally, you cannot stand it when people have these like lower frequency dynamics.
Yes.
You're like, that's not healthy. People don't hit each other. That's not sexy. I don't understand your kink. Get out of here.
You're supposed to be respectful. Yeah.
We are supposed to be respectful and kind to the people we spend our lives with.
Yeah.
And we're over here like, that's not how it works. It's fine. It's cool. And then
Fine. That's what I caught.
yeah, and also, let's see what this says. You will become greatly hurt and disappointed if the other person takes any but the high road with you. And I think that's why you and Matt have such a great connection, is because you do both have that sense of integrity when it comes to the way you treat people and the way you, I mean, even your parenting styles, it's very like, you know, trying to do what's best morally and like build this, you know, healthy relationship with the outside world and your kids. And I don't know, I think that really computes.
I like that.
Yeah.
Cute.
And then your Mars is also in Libra. So I always have seen the people that I've known with the Mars and Libra, they are total natural hosts in that they are always like very socially oriented. I don't necessarily see that piece of that in you, or because you're not like, I need to be Miss Popularity. I need to go out. I need to meet new people. I want people to come over and I want to host them. And
But I like to make people feel welcome.
yeah, and I think that's definitely
Yeah.
a piece of that. That's the charm. When I think Libra, I think charm, like just warmth, kindness. Yeah. Fucking Hannah. So yeah, I mean, I think
Even
that
people
all,
who like Sarah J. Maas.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Could be a lot.
it's gonna
meaner
be
about
really
her.
funny when we go to Starfall.
Definitely.
Yeah.
When we go to Starfall
Yes.
in 2025.
4. Or is it 5?
We have to go in 5.
So we
because-
missed this year,
yeah,
so
we
we have
sold
to go.
out. It
Okay.
sold out.
And 2025.
And we're gonna make her wear like Nesta clothes.
Seriously, I might have to buy makeup.
No, I got
No,
you. I got you.
we're fine.
But there's a Starfall ball, and you get to go, and it's like an event, and you get to dress up and go to Starfall. That doesn't sound fun. Well, we're gonna take you,
Okay.
and we'll make. I want to dress in the daytime. I want my mom to make me a La Habra outfit.
Aw.
Yeah.
I meant to wear my La Habra shirt today. I
Well,
forgot
you
to
have a
change.
La Habra shirt.
Yes.
I'm glad you didn't wear it because I would cry the whole time.
I know.
It's
It's for the best.
It's for the best. But I want a little La Habra Comic-Con. Like, I want a little La Habra outfit. I love her. She's my favorite. But it's also, you know why I love her so much? Because of the voice that the narrator used with her. It's really sweet and high pitched.
Baby.
Yeah, it's really sweet and high pitched. Like, she's like the cutest thing ever.
She's so cute and sexy.
Yeah. She's so cute and sexy.
It can be both.
Yeah,
She is,
just
yeah.
like,
Can be
just
both.
like me.
Just like me.
So yeah. But yeah, I think that all computes a lot. I think it's the Sagittarius and the water energy from you that is bringing the difference, like really
Yeah.
adding that.
How you explained it last time, like stained glass,
Oh yeah.
that
Okay.
was very helpful
Yeah,
for me.
So I think when I think of astrology, I think of like everybody has their own unique hue. And each stained glass, like each edition of a planetary placement has a different colored glass. And when you put them together, you get your own special like aura or hue. And it's uniquely your own, and no one else's looks just like yours. Except for identical twins, which I still haven't figured out how that happens.
That's just creepy.
It's fine. But that's probably why they can read each other's minds. You know? So, and something that we said last time is that astrology isn't necessarily this like woo-woo pseudoscience. It's basically thousands and thousands of years of humans paying attention to patterns that pop up in different times of the year and making these observations. And it's really just about paying attention versus this magical source of energy stamping on people's personalities. That there are patterns in the universes that I fucking went through on my awful trip last week. Oh, so many universes. I wasn't prepared to navigate them. So I wound up in horror land. But
Cabin in the woods.
yeah, it was so terrible. But yeah, so, you know, you've got your own hue, and I think that those two things are like the opposite of mine, which is, I think I'm very drawn to that because you have this very chill.
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
Does that mean it's time to go home?
No, it's just I have an alarm at 8.
It's time for me to take medicine.
BC?
My pills.
My pills!
Where's my pills at?
Get my pills out! Yeah, so you better take that BC before it's illegal. You're going to take your rights away, girl.
Right.
You going to take that out?
I can. I probably will.
You should. Don't take my politics out.
Don't take my politics.
I'll leave in Iceland. I'll maybe take this out.
Take out the politics. It's fine. Let them take our rights. It's fine.
Fine, take my rights.
So, but yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense.
I wish I could
make
meet
sense.
somebody who read
pretty accurate.
auras.
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 An auror is what Harry Potter became.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
After he dropped out of college. Just kidding.
high school.
It makes a lot of sense. I mean, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I get that.
Does it resonate?
I am aware of my own intensity, which I think I said last time. And over the years, I have learned how to wield it better,
but
in a way that doesn't alienate people.
yeah, but
Yeah.
I think your intensity is such a different type of intensity than like my intensity. And so I think that's what's crazy to me about it is like you are intense, but it's a different type of intense.
Matt says it's the focus.
Yeah.
I'm here with you. and
Laser pointed.
I'm completely in what you're saying, and I have an opinion when you're done.
Yeah.
And that's what I try not to share my opinion as bluntly as I may have when I was younger.
Right.
So I'm trying.
But that's it. But you also
I
don't
love
have
that.
to. But you also don't have to. I think it's like a pendulum swing, right? Like you, you go so far in your youth, and you are like. I mean, I think we all do that. You swing one way, and then you swing back, and then you really just stop at this beautiful center space.
I feel like that's where I feel like that was my 30s. I feel
Yeah.
like teenage me was far more Sagittarius.
Right.
Far more just couldn't keep a friend, couldn't
Big, bright, bold. Couldn't. Yeah.
just burn through people. And
Right.
then 20s me was more like, okay, well maybe I don't do that.
Let me
then
just hold it
I'm
off.
not me with anybody.
Yeah.
And then 30s me is like, well, you can handle me or you can't, but
Right.
I'm not going to hurt you.
Yeah.
Like I'm here for you. I just
Yeah.
might.
I don't think. Yeah, and when you say you can handle me or not, I'm like, you're not somebody to be handled. You're just like
But you know what I mean.
beautiful
The
presence.
like
yeah.
if I'm too much, find less kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Find less.
Find less.
Correct. Yes. All right, now Hannah. All right, so let me tell you who Hannah is.
I'm excited to learn about Hannah.
Me too.
I am so
Me too.
excited.
I want to know who I am.
Who am I?
Okay. Who am I?
I feel like I have no intensity. I'm just like, meh.
Well, that is a lot of what we're going to talk about. So Hannah's big three. You have a Libra sun and a Pisces rising and an Aquarius moon. And that is a little bit of that.
I have a lot of feelings.
Well, I think that so Libra sun, charming, bubbly, sweet, flirty, just easy, typically very Libra's ruled by Venus, very like into beauty and your space and the way you like to be pretty and you like pretty things. And also, Aquarius moon will exacerbate the air energy of that Libra. So to have a moon and a sun in air makes you very like in the space, space. We're not going to use the word spacey. We're going to use the word...
I'll stop saying that about myself.
Yeah, we're not going to say spacey. We're going to say in space. Like high up here, kind of floating around a little bit, less centered and focused maybe.
Yes.
And just, I'm here and I like this. And then that Pisces, and the way that Pisces flavors those two things is it makes you very sweet and kind. And it is like, I think of Pisces as like the sweet baby angels. They're the 12th sign. They're literally, but they're also very conflicting because it's two fish pulling away from each other, right? So Pisces in some placements can be very self-destructive. They can be very self-destructive. I don't know. Like Kurt Cobain was a Pisces. That's a perfect example of somebody who could not cope. Very whimsical, very like ethereal, right? Watery. My one of my closest friends is a Pisces, and my sister's Pisces. Everybody's Pisces, but so that sweetness really flavors that air energy. Which the air to me, it's like, what's a good way to describe it? Kind of like mushrooms. You know how they take on the flavor of other things?
Oh, I thought we were talking about magic mushrooms.
No,
Not those.
We're not talking about anything like hallucinogenic or anything like that because
Yeah,
bad
we can't.
experiences. But
Kate's recovering.
recovering from the nightmare. But it's like it's just a very
Yeah, tastes like chicken.
yeah, but not because Aquarius is like the weird sign. Aquarius is supposed to be like, oh, I hate this because I don't resonate with it at all. But they always use like the alien, like very progressive, very like in the sky. Aquarians can be very prone to the occult. Aquarians in your younger years can be very arrogant versus confident. Arrogance meaning that you think you're higher up than everybody else versus on the same page. So that and I don't know how Aquarius shows up emotionally. I imagine in like a really conflicting way because Aquarius is also known to be kind of a hermit and kind of be cold at times.
Yeah.
So I imagine that when you're in a relationship, if you turn off, you're done. And you're like, I'm sorry, I don't even gonna pretend you don't exist anymore. And it's really tough. I wouldn't want to be in a relationship with you and you'd be cold.
But it's fun sometimes.
But I bet you ghost people. You ghost people?
Hannah is making a crying face.
Only if I absolutely have to.
Yeah. And maybe not at this age. But a Libra with Aquarius moon is just, that is so much air energy.
Mercurial.
But very good.
Yeah.
Very good at, Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, so they're really into butt stuff. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Please don't make that.
Okay. I'm so sorry. That was
That was one of the obscene hand gestures that no one knows what she's talking about. And then Sarah made an obscene hand gesture, and I thought you were just like Cassie, and I loved you forever.
I think at this point we're going to need butt stuff t-shirts. So maybe we should just...
Absolutely. Butt stuff. Hashtag butt stuff.
Hashtag butt stuff.
But I'm not hashtagging anything but stuff. Just
yeah, that'll lead into some real wrong side of TikTok.
That
gets you kicked off TikTok. Wait, this
as if I were on TikTok, please.
I know. Wait, I don't know where the rest of it is.
Like I can handle people.
That might just be my big 3.
I don't want your big 3. I want your second 3.
Oh, I have a big binder at home that has.
And I can't remember. I can't read. Okay, let me just read this natal chart really fast.
Gonna ghost us all.
Yeah, she's gonna
You
ghost
have
us.
like
gonna be
30
like,
so
seconds.
what
And I'm
does
done.
anybody remember what the glyph for Mercury looks like?
Oh, no.
Can you pull up a key for me? Just like planetary glyphs,
Glyphs.
sigils,
Sigils.
glyphs. Isn't
That's
that a
fine.
word?
They're all the same thing. Yeah, glyphs. I'm just filling the space.
I don't think I've ever said the word glyph in my life.
I've only seen it.
Maybe
written.
read it.
Okay.
Aylin's going to run out of space on her hands, by the way. Because we are like 100 pages, and she's cut her hand twice for a blood oath at this point.
Yeah.
Oh my God, blood oaths.
I'm
Sorry.
like, can we just somewhere? It's just going to be like, oh God, I already did that one. I'm out of hands. Rowan, I could use your hand.
Feet
so
next.
Mercury
Yeah.
looks like a little Scorpio. And then Venus is in
It's worse when they do the one
Libra.
where they- oh,
And then Mars is in
Venus is in Libra.
Virgo. Mars in Virgo. Mars in Virgo.
Sex appeal.
Mercury in Scorpio and Libra and
I never got invited to sleepovers, so this is fun. It's
Why?
like a girl talk evening. I don't
Why?
know. You've met me.
That doesn't. I mean, sorry, I didn't mean to
I don't
hand
know
you everything.
why. I just didn't.
So Mercury and Scorpio, that's exactly where hers is. Yeah.
And see, I
We're
knew
deep.
like I knew there was something about you, even though our opinions immediately are different. There's that twinkle in your eye, and I knew there was something about you that I liked.
And it's because your Scorpios are in Mercury.
Yes.
I love that. I love that so much.
That's why.
Why don't you guys braid each other's hair and
Okay.
I'll go get
I
us
have
some
enough.
candy. I
Oh,
wish
yeah, you do.
I brought
do
some crack. Or well, they're out of it till next year. But
They don't have nerd clusters, but once a year? Oh,
yeah,
no, the mini
I
eggs.
can't. Yeah, the mini eggs. Mini eggs are gone. Nerd clusters are always around, but those make my tummy hurt. Then your Venus was in Libra. Yeah, that is a very flirtatious placement for that. It's also a very, I always think that air signs in Libra or air signs in Venus to me scare me. Like, I don't want to date a guy with an air sign in a Venus because,
Super slutty.
yeah. I don't like to use the word slutty because it's kind of shamey, but if you're using slutty as in an empowering way,
Yeah, I meant
like
it as in you're a hot slut.
Yeah, yes. You own your slut. Yeah, own that slut for sure. And I don't like Gemini placements for Venus it's just because you're on and then you're off and you're over it. I think Libra is very much, I think all the air signs, they're like there, and then they're gone unless you're really like in love.
In
And
your
that can be-
professional opinion, am I doomed to be alone forever?
No. I'm sure you'll have several more relationships.
Yeah.
And I think that that's okay. I think that you're set up to be relational. Like
Yeah.
everything about your chart screams, I need a relationship. Libras are very much partnership people. And so, but Aquarius is a very independent sign. So I think there's some conflict between your Venus and your moon because your Venus needs partnership. Libras will fake it in a partnership for a while.
Long time.
Long time. But an Aquarius won't. You know, they can't. So I
It's a
think
constant struggle.
it's a conflict. And then your Mars is in Virgo, which makes a lot of sense because I love a Virgo Mars.
Oh, wait, what's Mars again?
Mars is your, well, some people say it's like your sex drive, but I don't think it is. I think it's more like your momentum, the way you
Oh, that's
move
right.
forward. Like,
Oh, I love that.
yeah. So I
I
think
love
of it-
Virgo.
yeah,
for that.
Well, it's a very like perfecting. Mm-hmm. So when you said perfectionism earlier, I don't get perfectionism from your Libra. I get that from a Virgo Mars.
Yeah.
They're really like when I think Virgo Mars, I think books, coffee, like plants, living your happy little clean, put together life.
Yep.
You know,
I love it.
yeah. But that's how that feels to me. Virgos are the teachers. Virgos are also very, I mean, they're the virgin. So they're very like, I wanted to say something not nice, but like, they're perfectionists. They hold themselves to a very high standard.
Yeah.
So they expect other people to be high standards around them. And that's why sometimes they can be critical. So just be careful with that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm speaking because I had a Virgo mom.
Mm-hmm.
It was fucking hard. It was fine. I
Yeah.
love her so much. But yeah.
My mom's a Gemini.
What?
Her mom is a Virgo.
What? That's a lot.
Yeah.
It's just hard when you don't. My mom, it's just hard when you're not as to find footing, equal footing. When Virgo is such a critical, it's a very critical sign. Critical of themselves. They are actually capable of perfection in a lot of ways. And so they expect that from others, not realizing that that's what their special skill is. And that's the most infuriating thing, is when you are around somebody who can actually achieve. Okay, Beyonce, all Leo and Virgo. That bitch is fire.
Literally.
She is amazing.
Yeah.
She is all that Virgo makes her perfectionism. That is why she's brilliant, because she is detail oriented about every single piece of everything she ever does, and it makes her this incredible.
That's going to be my nephew.
One of the most, accolades versus just like entertaining artists that's ever existed, not to mention talented. But she also works really hard, and that's what everybody says about her. Like, she's not only born talented, she also works really, really hard. So you get this special. That's how I think of us Virgos, is that they are blessed with the ability to be detail oriented, to get it all together, to be a perfectionist, and then they expect everyone else around them to have that same thing. And when they realize, like, oh, that's what I do well, and then they say, oh, I can help. That's why they become teachers, because they can help other people learn it. But when they don't realize that, and that's their expectation of people, that becomes really hard for the people around them. And that's why a lot of people don't like that.
Yeah.
But I think Virgo Mars is a really cool placement. If it was anywhere, I would want it to be there.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Should I do mine?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm a Libra rising, which is where my charm and my like bubbly, fun energy comes from. And then I'm an Aquarius sun. So I actually don't resonate with my Aquarius sun as much as I used to at all. I think that as we get older, we really lean into our
Your rising sign.
No, I think your moon sign.
Really?
Well, yeah, because your moon sign is who you are when you're by yourself.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So, I mean, I think rising has a lot more impact on your chart than I'm aware of, or I know how to talk
I just
about.
think of it as like how it said that's how your rising sign is going to be how you reach your potential and how you find your happiness.
So that makes sense for me because I've used my people skills to be good at what I do. So, sure, that makes sense. But I also feel and resonate more with my Taurus moon when I like who I am and who I feel like I am on the inside more so than my Aquarius anymore. I do feel weird and quirky in some ways. I think that I am independent in ways that I don't even realize sometimes. Like it's not weird to me at all that I don't seek out relationships, but also it is a little weird because that's not normally normal.
It's like weird when you think about it, but you're not stopping to think
I'm
about
never
it.
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love a partner. I would love a partnership. I think life is exhausting, and I think we're supposed to do it with someone else.
Yes.
So it doesn't weigh so much, and it doesn't feel so fucking hard because you have to think of 3 meals a day. When you have someone else, they can think of 1.5 meals a day. It's just not as much work, right? But also, I'm completely comfortable being by myself. But I do have a Taurus moon, and I really relate to my Taurus moon the most. I love comfort so much. I like eating so much. I like things that feel good. But I also relate to both Taurus and Libra are ruled by Venus. I love pretty things. I love to put myself together. I love to have outfits that I like. I like my house to feel clean and pretty. I like for my surroundings to feel like unique and like me, but pretty. So I'm very into like the way something looks as an expression of who I am, right? That's more important to me than some people. I mean, there's people that do it way better than I do, but it is important to me that I feel like I'm expressing myself in a way that makes me feel on the outside like I do on the inside. And so, you know, I also was raised by someone that does that too, so it's even more like exacerbated, but those three combined, so I've got this bubbliness and this air signness, which makes me up in the clouds, right? And I'm always thinking, you know, this progressive nature. I have a pretty progressive ideologies of things, but then this Taurus makes me really fucking stubborn. And Aquarius and Taurus are both fixed signs. So I actually really struggle with change. But I see the necessity of change. And so it's been a lifelong struggle to make my stubbornness line up with the progression.
Here's a question. Why is it that every Aquarius in my life, and I have a lot of them, will argue with a brick wall?
It's the arrogance factor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's not.
I will not argue. Like, you think?
It is not even. I
just don't need to be. I don't need you to know I'm right.
It is the natural. There is a natural devil's advocacy to this sign placement that I don't even know how to explain.
Yeah, it's like you're not even
but
like.
What if?
Yeah.
It's like, and you have to learn as you go. Like, there's differences in the signs, like the high frequency part of the sign and the low frequency. Like low frequency Aquarius male. Ooh. That's a hard person to be around. Arrogant, ego, huge. I mean, think about it. Aquarius is the other side of Leo. So they're poles. They have a lot of similarities. Leo does like, I am. Well, Aquarius is just as arrogant. And they are just as like egocentric. It's just hidden because it looks a little bit different. But they definitely have that I'm right. I know is actually they're saying, I know. So, okay, so imagine an Aquarius with the I know, that arrogance, Aquariusness, and then the Taurus, which is also I'm never
like
wrong.
Stubborn, yeah.
And yeah. So that's kind of who I am. Yeah, so that's who I am. And
no, it's not.
It is though, and I have had to learn something that's great. Wait, did I do it? Did I argue with you?
I gave up.
Oh, that's okay.
I was like, okay.
Well, like, but something that I've learned is I'm becoming less stubborn in my older years. Well, I've noticed other people becoming more stubborn in their older years. So I'm way more like, oh, I don't know. Like, I won't say I know something if I don't know it anymore.
That's your Libra.
Maybe. I also think that I had to learn that. Because, to me, that's just like, that was just like, it took a lot of time to learn that.
I mean, same. Like, I just learned that like 20 minutes ago.
It does make me.
Very recently.
Yeah, it doesn't 20 minutes, like 30 seconds ago. Yeah. It does make me very, you cannot tell me anything about myself that I don't already know. And if you do, I mean, actually, I'm more open to that now. But for a long time, you couldn't. I couldn't, and I was such a late bloomer. It took me so long to learn life lessons because no one could tell me anything. I would not listen to you. I had to learn it myself.
I have one of those.
You do that?
The mini version of that.
Oh, yes, you do.
Yes.
100%.
Yes.
And that's why I love,
my daughter.
People know her name is Penny.
I don't think I ever
do
say her
now.
Name. It's fine.
Okay, well, I don't have to say it. I won't say her name.
I just say my daughter.
Okay, well, yeah, and I connect with her, and I see her doing it, and I'm like, I see you. Mm-hmm. But hers is even more so than mine was. Mine was a little bit more. Mine wasn't as assertive. But that top 3 combo for me makes me super assertive.
She was gonna microwave bread. She made herself an egg, and then she was going to microwave bread. And I was like, well, I can get the toaster out for you so you can toast your bread if you want to. She goes, I think I'm going to do it exactly the way I want to do it.
So, sorry.
And I was like, all right, well, then you microwave bread.
And there's nothing you can do about that.
And it doesn't harm anybody to
I love
microwave
that.
bread.
I'm
It's
so
fine.
glad
Honestly,
she has you as a parent
it's
because
not gonna hurt anything.
No.
And it's just a part of that. It just comes with the thing.
Yeah.
And you know everything really, really young. And you're constantly learning, you're constantly paying attention to everything. So you are picking up things, you're very observant. But that 3 makes me very confident, and I've learned that I do have a lot of confidence because when I walk in a room, I think I'm on the same footing and playing field as everyone else in the room, no matter who they are.
wow.
Right? But I think when I was younger, I would walk in a room and feel like I was better, and I looked for why I was better than everybody else, which is kind of like that arrogance thing. Like, oh, well,
That's so
I
cool.
like this, or no. Like, now I'm like, we're all on the same, but it also makes me extremely welcoming. I don't want anyone to ever not feel like they don't belong. I want everyone to always feel like they belong.
Yeah.
That you belong here. You're important. You're hurt. You need to be heard and seen. That's also also trauma, but with those things.
Yeah.
My Mercury is in Capricorn, Capricorn is not a strong communicator. And when they do say something, they say it very verbatim and it's almost too direct. So sometimes that directness, thank God I have the charm, because without that, the directness would be too much. But because people realize, like, oh, she's nice and sweet and she would never hurt me intentionally, when I say something really like, it's okay. It's not, I mean, I think in my earlier years, I would ask really like blatant questions. And I remember one time this guy telling me, someone's going to beat you up one time for your stupid questions. Okay, it wasn't that malicious. It was more like, Kate, you're going to get in trouble. You ask too many questions. And that's true. I mean, there's sometimes you can ask some really insensitive questions, but I was just trying, right? So as I've gotten older, I've learned to communicate well because I can be too direct, but I cannot stand flowery, manipulative language. It drives me fucking bonkers.
Like, get to the point.
Get to the point. Stop bullshitting with me. I don't care. You're not going to convince me of something you cannot,
Yeah.
And then my Venus is in Aquarius too, so I'm like very prone to independence, and I would love a relationship and a partner, but I am very okay. I've never been a person that was like, I have to be in a relationship.
Yeah.
I find relationships uncomfortable. It's hard for me to feel safe in a relationship. But and then my Mars. Jesus. My Mars is in Pisces, which is like the most Dionysus, the Greek Roman god.
Oh, yeah.
Dionysus.
Dionysian. It's the most. That's the most. With the Pisces Mars and the Taurus Moon, it can make me lazy as shit, dude. I just want to chill. I just want to be comfortable. I just want to, I want to be low key. I don't know if people know this, and you don't have to cut this out. I don't mind. I'm a recovering alcoholic. I have 6 years sober.
You've said that before.
Yeah, I'm
leave it
6
in.
years sober. Yeah, I don't mind. It's a part of who I am. Right. I think sobriety is a superpower, but
I think it's important to leave it in.
Yeah. But I really struggled with alcohol, and I think that Pisces piece of it really made it I was like 2 fish pulling away from each other. I can be really self-destructive. I'm also very comfortable on a raging river, and I'm also really comfortable on a little lazy river, right? Because of that momentum, I'm comfortable, but that Taurus moon slows me down, so it takes me a minute to transition. So I can go, but I'm also I need to sit still and do nothing. I have to have moments to sit still.
You have to have your couch time.
Literally, please. I've got to lay down in my comfortable ass bed with my adorable dog and read a book and don't talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
So I'm the only one with any fire sign
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah. And I have fire sign.
Explains a lot.
You and Beyonce.
And I think, to me, that's why you don't like Aylin. Because she's too much fire.
Yeah.
And there's parts of that you don't like.
Yeah.
And now that I'm hearing more about the way when you were younger, I'm like, oh, those are traits you don't care for.
No.
And she's expressing those things.
Yes.
And that's why you don't like her.
Right. Because I have had to work very hard to
Not be like that.
not be like that.
Yes.
And then she's like, this is my superpower.
Yeah. I agree.
No, it's fucking not.
Well, and I used to really struggle with that, the fire energy. Now, I have fire, you have fire later in your charts, and I just don't know. I wish that I knew how to interpret that stuff, like where your Saturn and your Jupiter and all those things are, because they matter. I'm just not sure how they show up. I know that I have also where your planets are in what houses.
Right.
Have a lot
That's like
more-
a whole other layer to
have
it.
a whole nother influence. Like I have Scorpio in my first house, so I a lot of times am a little manipulative, and I can tell when I can see myself doing it, and I have to be really careful because, especially with my job, because I am kind and like good with people, I have to be really careful to not like point them in a direction, right?
Yeah.
It's their job is to they have to decide
Yep.
what they want to do. So I don't know. There's so much to it. It's
Yeah.
too much, and
We are complex beings.
very, very complex.
But that was a
beings.
really interesting.
yeah. But
breakdown.
I don't have any fire, and so I do see that in you. I don't. Yeah, I only have water in one place too. So, yeah,
You're welcome.
yeah.
Just bring the fire.
You
Yeah.
sure
What
do,
was it you told me
girl.
last time? Less of a bonfire, more of a laser beam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did I say that?
Yeah.
Oh my
That's
god, I'm
good.
so fucking clever.
You were like,
That is so
you were like,
clever. So
normally it
clever.
would be like a bonfire, but you're like a laser beam.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that's
Well, laser beams are way scarier.
that's accurate.
Sharp string. Laser beams are sharp string. I hate sharp string. Have I told you that?
No.
Okay, I really haven't. So we were talking one time of the things that we're scared about enough.
Yeah.
The most scared of. I don't like sharp string. Like, okay, and you remember the movie Ghost Ship?
No.
Okay. Well, in Ghost Ship, this cable falls and cuts everybody in half. The string cuts
Gotcha.
people. A cheese string that cuts is terrifying. A string that you put around someone's neck and it cuts their head off, or like a string,
A sharp
string. I don't
Interesting.
like sharp string.
We watched The Brave Little Toaster,
Oh my!
and it explained a lot of my phobias. I just want to put that out
Yeah.
there. I was like,
Absolutely.
I really wish
was
I could
like,
have made
oh,
that. I
yeah.
really wanted to be there, but
Oh,
I'm
man.
gonna take it in. I'm gonna watch it, and then I'm gonna listen to that.
my
pod.
brother texted me. He was like, I don't know if I can rewatch that movie before I listen to the podcast. He was like, I don't know if I can listen to the podcast.
Well, I told you I have
Yeah,
a literal.
I'm traumatized.
I have a literal TikTok, and this was before I knew you guys were doing it. I saw a picture of Blanky, and I like immediately
Yes.
get
Yes.
how would Sarah J. Maas
I
describe it?
can't-
I get silvery eyes and tight in the chest.
Yes.
Yes.
Like immediately tear
It's
up when I see
really-
Blanky.
I mean, our whole generation, like, it's
Yeah.
hard to explain how fucking traumatizing
Blanky
that
reminds
movie
me
was.
of my little sister because my little sister had a Blanky, and I remember thinking she was the cutest little kid in the world, and she just reminds me of this sensitive little fucking blanket.
Yes, which at one point accepts death. Like,
Yeah.
it's getting sucked into the swamp. Anyway, my son has a blanket. Like, that's
Yeah.
his thing. He has a blanket. And he watched that first little part where Blanky's like, the master's here. And he, like, floats down and he goes to hug the master. And then the master disappears and it's all been a lie. And he was like, what is this? He left the room. He was like, turn it off. I'm not walking back in there.
Yeah, because it's
Why
really
were we so traumatized?
emotionally
Like I won't let my
traumatized.
child watch the stuff that I watched when I was little, and I'm talking about Land Before Time.
Hell no.
bullshit.
Hell no.
I mean, I saw Land Before Time come up on Netflix,
We
like
can watch
new,
the
and I was like,
sequels,
Yeah.
yeah,
which are
they're
like
fine.
musicals.
Yeah, they're fine.
But the first one, no.
That is really.
I'm not going to traumatize my daughter.
They're literal, like, you just hear the music. And you're like, oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Why were our childhood movies like that?
Why did they like to do this to us?
Kill parents in front of you. That's what they like to do. They were like, oh, did you like the mom? Did you like how nice she was? Well, how about we just let's kill her off in silhouette?
We're going to shoot Bambi's mom.
Dude,
Yep.
what about, like, what was it? What was that movie where the dog dies because he gets rabies?
Old Yeller?
Yeah. Fuck that movie.
Now, I did make my daughter watch that.
Or what was the other
Because
movie?
I want her to be a little bit traumatized.
What's where the Redfern
Because I think she's got it too
Oh my
easy
God,
right
What's
now.
that about?
Yeah.
Doesn't a dog die in
Where
that?
the Red Fern Grows is one of the few books I was crying so hard I couldn't finish the book.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't see the pages.
Bridge
Yeah.
to Terabithia?
Yeah.
Are you kidding? My
Wild.
Girl?
Wept.
Oh,
Are you kidding? I saw that movie in the theater as a child.
and there's even like a funeral
as
scene
an
where he's in the
8-year-old,
coffin.
and she's yelling he can't see without his glasses.
Yeah.
Dude, they traumatized us.
There's a line from The Crow where this one character says, childhood's over as soon as you know you're going to die.
And we were watching My Girl
and
at,
it's like,
at
We had
age-
no
The
childhood.
Land Before Time. And, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wild.
Yeah. All of them. It is weird. No wonder we all grew up with, like, anxiety issues.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, culturally, they were traumatizing us.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean,
My
it
kids
was,
hate Disney. They won't watch anything Disney because the parents are either dead or mean, and they just won't watch them. Like even The Little Mermaid, I thought for sure my daughter would love The Little Mermaid because it's mermaids. It's whatever. As soon as the dad yells at her, she was done. She was like, "Turn the movie off. I'm done. I'm not gonna watch it anymore."
she has the I cannot deal with disrespect thing.
Yeah.
Strong boundaries at
She
a
was
young
like,
age.
I love it.
Hard pass.
Love it.
Yeah.
I read my child. I read my child a Berenstain Bear book the other night. It was one that was read to me as a child many times. It was the Berenstain Bear Trouble with Junk Food or whatever it's called. The one about the treats. Anybody?
I don't
No?
remember.
Yeah.
I remember those
I
books.
probably had it.
They have gold. They have gold
I'm
on the
halfway
side.
through. No, they're not little golden books.
Oh, okay.
I'm halfway through. This is a book that was read to me multiple times as a child. I'm reading it to her. Isabel goes, "Hold on a second. Is that mom fat shaming her children?" Because it's about like eating healthy snacks. And like the mom was like, "You're getting wider than you are tall," or whatever. And like,
She's fat shaming her kids.
my 9-year-old is like, "No, I'm not standing for this." You know, she's like, "This isn't right."
And then a tear of joy falls down your cheek. You're like,
know.
"Thank you for." I didn't even see that.
Yeah.
It's wild.
I just love it.
Like
I
how
love how
culturally
they're.
and like built in it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We tried watching The Indian in the Cupboard. Did anybody watch The Indian in
That
the
just
Cupboard?
sounds problematic.
Okay, so
it's been several
It
years.
is, but this child has native toys, and he can put them in this magic cupboard and like
And they
lock
come
and unlock it,
alive.
and they
Yeah.
come alive.
Yeah.
Well, first, just unpacking the whole Indian thing is just a whole other level.
Right.
But also, he brings back an older gentleman, and the guy dies immediately because he's like, "What the shit?" and he dies. And so the other native toy that he's been interacting with extensively is like, "Yeah, you are taking us from another life. Like we aren't toys that you're waking up. You're like stealing us from another life."
Yes.
So this person disappeared from their life, and now they're never going to get to go home, and they won't be able to be buried by their family, and their family will never know what happened to them.
Those are severe consequences
And
for a child.
They end up having a funeral for he's like, "We have to bury him. We have to like send
Wait,
him on
he
to the
can't just
afterlife."
like put him back?
Because he's already dead.
Because he's already dead.
Oh, that's so heavy.
Yeah. And you're like, "What?" I don't remember. I remember watching it, and
Y'all remember
I do
Homeward
not.
Bound?
I showed Homeward Bound to the kids. I was like, "Oh, this will be fun." I remember it being sad, but it's not that. I sobbed. My daughter thought there was something
wept.
wrong with me.
Yep.
She was like, "How can I help you? What can I get you?" And I'm just like, "I don't know." I can't do dogs, and I can't do tragic romance.
Do you know there's then you don't even like dogs.
No, but I can't, like, Hachi, fucking forget it. I can't even watch the trailer for Hachi, and I lose my shit.
There's a straight up internet site where you can go and
Does
it's like,
the dog
does the dog die?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm not fucking around. There's a movie that just came out with Channing Tatum.
Channing Tatum.
Channing Tatum.
What did I say?
Chatting. What did you say?
I don't know. Just, it's fine.
It's all the spit.
I like
mouth.
it.
It gets me.
No, I like the way you said it better.
I don't know. Yeah. So, but they had to in the the tour, like the media tour, they had to tell people the dog doesn't die.
Yeah.
So that people would watch it. Like the dog survives.
Yeah.
It's almost like you can't kill animals in
Marley and Me.
Oh, fuck that. I don't even know what it's about. I don't even know what it's about.
I went to the theater and saw it and then was in the bathroom afterwards with like 40 women just sobbing. We're just
No, I don't. I'd never watch that. I don't want to watch it.
Don't.
It just sounds sad.
It's
I will
cruel.
never watch it.
Yeah.
You
P.S.
can-
I Love You. Lost it. I cried the entire movie. Up. Cried the entire movie. Every
That's
time we saw the
emotional
house,
and manipulative.
I was like, gone. Can't. I was so like
Oh my
stuffed
god!
up at
The
the end
first,
of P.S. I Love You.
The first 3 minutes of Up. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh
Can't.
yeah.
Also at funerals, I've been at funerals for people, like I go to support a family member and people have told me they're sorry for my loss because I'm crying so hard at the funeral. Can't do it. As soon as I'm like, that's somebody's husband or that's somebody's wife or whatever.
Yeah.
Gone.
The emotional, the relational pain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Ugh.
Nope.
I'm trying to think. I remember watching P.S. I Love You one time.
I have watched it once.
I don't like being that sad.
No. I don't
That's
enjoy
like
it.
the Frank and Bill episode.
Like a couple times a year, I will induce that type of sadness just to like get a good
Cleansing.
Well,
a good
that's why
cleansing cry.
The Bill and Frank episode of The Last of Us, I know we've already talked about this, but that was...
Yeah, Matt
That
put
was
that
a
on, and I
lot.
was like, "Oh, I'll sit and watch it with
It was
you."
a lot.
I was like, "Why did you do this to me? You know I can't handle
Legends
this
of the Fall does that to me. That's
stuff."
like
the fall. Jesus.
that's like I'm crying for 3 hours straight.
Yeah, because that one is just like,
Fall.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm trying to think of some other like epically sad movies. I don't know. I've been crying at these books a lot. They're not sad the same way, but
It's fine.
you still just was it one of you that said you can't tell the difference in a character and a real person in your brain? Like your brain can't tell the difference.
I don't think we said that.
Or maybe I saw it on the internet. I came across some information. But like they were
Depends
saying
on how fleshed out the character is.
But they said like if you become connected to a character, it feels just like a real person to you, and that's not wrong.
No,
It's not wrong.
that's the purpose of story. That's
Yeah.
why we have story culturally. Is that way we can explore outcomes without actually having to like put people in a room and tell them to like duke it out. Or
Yeah.
whatever. Like it's
trying to
literally a way for our brain to simulate situations.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of other movies that have just like taken me out.
I cried pretty hard on a Home Depot commercial the other day.
Music
It
video.
was like the one with the give a woman a power tool. And it had like a little girl with like a toy drill. And I
Yeah,
just
give her
was
a
like-
power
I was
tool.
like,
Yeah. I'm glad we've come so far.
yeah.
so we can use it to smash the patriarchy.
Oh my god, but also there's this like TikTok trend or an Instagram trend, some kind of trend where the women are like, if there's a if there's a chore that you want to get your partner to do, take the drill and just go up into the room and just like hold it up and make the noise, and eventually they come, and
They'll
that's
come
what
running.
it is. There's the women are just like, watch this, and she just holds it up, and then her partner walks in and goes, "What are you doing?" And she goes, "No, I don't know." And he takes it and he puts together the thing. Yeah, I love my drill. I love having a drill.
Yeah, Matt would just leave me.
Yeah, I know how to hang. I can know how to do stuff. So, have y'all had plumbing quotes done recently for any
Not
kind of
recently.
plumbing? It is. I had some quotes done for a client, and they were astronomical. They wanted to charge $275 to change an aerator. Do you know what an aerator is?
Yeah. That's pretty wild.
The little
the
thing on the
thingy.
thing.
Yeah. The little thing. We all know the thing.
Yeah, the thing on the thing.
Well, you can't get work done, period. Like you can't, I was trying to get trim put in.
Nobody wants to work these days.
Well, it's not, I think they have
We'll
too
go
much.
pray about it.
I think there's not enough people and
There's
too
just-
much work. So
yeah.
they can just,
I thought-
they can ghost you. They don't give a shit. They got 15 more people to
Yeah.
go to.
I thought the plumbing thing was because so many people are YouTubing. Because I wouldn't pay a plumber to do anything. I would just YouTube it.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
P trap messed up. I'm going to get up under there. I'm going to go to Lowe's. I'm going to get me some plumber's tape. I'm going to get up under there. And it was like $450 to change a faucet and to silicone it. And I'm like, I have literally done that myself.
Yeah. Plumbing is achievable because plumbing's just like, I mean, some plumbing is achievable.
Right. I mean, you can't like change your waistline.
Yeah. Electrical's when we get like,
You can't do it yourself.
Pinky.
I said that to the
Yeah.
electrician today because my client called me out. She goes, "Yeah, you're just like talking about how you use YouTube to do this stuff yourself." To the electrician, I'm like, "We can't do electrical work. You die if you
Yeah.
mess up electricity. You die.
Yeah.
Like you have to be a licensed electrician.
Yeah.
and their process of becoming a full-fledged electrician it's like they have apprentices.
yeah, and you're
Like,
a journeyman and then you're, yes,
yeah,
it's a process.
But as a plumber,
Yeah.
I-
They technically
Kids,
do too.
learn a trade.
Yeah.
We need tradespeople.
I wish we had the school systems that they have in other parts of the country where you learn a trade in high school.
There's a lady I follow on Instagram called the Trans Handyman. Mm-hmm. She's really cool.
Yeah.
Aw, trans handyman. I love that.
Does she teach people how to do stuff?
Yeah, and she just put out a book, which everyone should go and buy, about like how to do your own stuff and
Yeah.
when you're a renter.
I saw her.
Yeah, blue hair. She has blue hair, but she does like
I think.
how to do stuff when you're a renter, like, and how to add an extra lock. Like if you're trans and you're traveling and you feel unsafe, here's like a thing you can buy to put an extra lock on your hotel room. So like,
Yeah.
so it's unfortunate necessary stuff, but like
Right.
tons of interesting stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, that's cool.
Cool.
But she does a lot of like, here's a practical way to fix this thing, or here's like a practical thing you can buy that will do this for you, or whatever. So that's my
Yeah, I
plug.
love DIY stuff.
Yeah.
I would never pay a plumber. I'm sorry, plumbers, but just you can't.
Some people can't, or some people make their time is so full
Yeah.
that it doesn't make sense for them to take that time out and do it themselves. Like $275 would be fine.
Yeah.
Fine.
For an aerator?
Like my friends that I was a surrogate for,
Oh, right.
that absolutely would be. Like, that's just not, they don't have time for
Was that baby your baby?
that.
It was another egg.
Yes.
They had a donor egg and
And-
their sperm.
Yes.
Is it twins?
Yes.
And each baby took to one?
Yes.
Oh, I love
So they're
that.
half siblings, but twins.
You were a surrogate?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It must be your Scorpio Mercury.
Yeah. It was me going, well, this seems weird that I had two kids, which I didn't, I mean, I was just
So it
like,
was
I think-
after you had your two kids? Wow.
So you didn't have to do any of the hormone stuff.
I did.
You did?
You still have to. You have to like trick your body into thinking you're pregnant when they do the
Wow.
transplant, because it has to be like,
Oh.
yeah, I ovulated.
Yeah,
we
so
did this.
so it receives it and like
Yeah.
holds it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you do it for the first 20 weeks. You have to take.
Do you ever see
progesterone.
those babies?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. We went to visit them this summer. They're 4 or 5 now.
Oh.
Yeah, but I mean, we didn't have to. When we tried to get pregnant, and like once, it was like, let's get pregnant right now. Okay, done. And so I was like, well, there's lots of people that's not the way that it is for them,
Yeah.
and it feels very, very unfair for me to just walk around with my very well functioning uterus.
Yeah,
waiting out
if
my
you're good
clock.
at that, if you're good at having babies,
Yeah.
like that's
Yeah.
a
Do you
gift.
enjoy pregnancy?
No,
That's funny. Amber did. Amber
I
liked
did
pregnancy.
not like being pregnant, and then pregnant for twins was like next level. You know what?
Did you get bed rest like farther along?
No, I didn't. I did it at the very beginning of being pregnant with the twins, because I had there's this thing where you get blood between the uterine lining and your uterus, and if you do too much activity, you can dislodge it. Like if you leave it long enough, it'll just absorb, or you can dislodge it and you end up bleeding like you're having a miscarriage. So like we went and walked around something. I came back and like that night I was like, oh my God, I went to the bathroom and this like giant clot came out, and I was like, was like, Matt, I need you to come in here and I need you to check this. I was like,
Yeah.
I need you to look and see what this is. I can't look.
Did you go to the doctor?
I did the next day.
And it was okay.
It was fine. It was just like,
That's what it was.
that's what it was. Everything was fine. It was an uneventful pregnancy, but
yeah.
except for that.
How far along were you then?
I was only like maybe 12 or 13 weeks.
So it could have come out and been
yeah.
a baby could have come out and been just
it
tissue.
would have looked like
just tissue at 12 weeks.
yeah. But I was like, I can't
Just sneak it in.
that.
This turned really heavy.
Sorry.
Yeah. That's probably why I had those nightmares the other day. My friend was telling a story about how this trainer, I don't want to tell a story again. Yeah, I do. Dog trainer had her dog and a dog she was training in the car, and she ran inside to get something, and the car turned off. And when she came back out, both dogs were gone.
No.
That's what this last story before I went to bed was.
What do you
Of course
mean?
you had a bad trip.
Yeah.
Like they were overheated.
The dogs.
How long was she gone?
I don't know, but it doesn't take long when it's hot at all. It takes not long at all. Like, you can't leave. I'm really sensitive about it, too, because with Henry, like, if it's more than, like, 65 degrees outside, the car will get too hot for them to be comfortable. So I guess she had, like, a push start or something, and the car turned off, and she came back. And, like, can you imagine
That
how...
poor thing.
Yeah,
She's
that poor
traumatized
woman,
for life.
That poor woman, she can't do her job anymore. She's a dog trainer and she can't do it.
Anyway, I had two twins. I had twins. They were fine.
Yeah.
To end on a positive
Yeah.
note here.
Yeah.
I am
I
so
need to head
loving
home.
that.
It was dads.
Yeah.
And I
that
would
was
love to talk more
beautiful.
about that with you.
And it was dads, and it was so sweet.
Yeah. Where do they live?
They live in Washington, D.C. And the one dad cried because I had like a postpartum. I had a rough after the babies. I had like a postpartum hemorrhage, and then I had postpartum eclampsia, which just what the fuck? I went through 2 pregnancies and nobody told me about postpartum eclampsia
What is
until I
that?
had it.
Can you share that?
It's the leading cause of maternal death in the United States.
What?
What is it?
It is after you have the baby, you have a sudden spike in blood pressure. And it's anywhere from 3 days to a week or so afterwards.
I've never heard of this.
So it's literally right after you discharge. That's why women go home and have a stroke and die. Because you're fine for the first 3 days. You go home with your baby. You have a bad headache because suddenly your blood pressure, mine was like 150 over 230.
Is that high?
Yes. I had to like be rushed into another room, go on this like magnesium drip for 24 hours so that I wouldn't have organ damage while they waited for the blood pressure medication to kick in. And I didn't know about that. My first 2 pregnancies, I was literally sent
Had
home.
no
and
idea.
That could have,
Yeah.
you
And-
had a
and
pregnancy.
what
Why
triggers
didn't you know
it?
about it?
What triggers
Nothing.
it?
It's just random. It's literally just
Is that
random.
So
Why?
it wasn't because it was twins or anything like
Nope.
that.
And that's after I had lost a third of my blood volume.
Oh my God.
Can you imagine if I had not had a postpartum hemorrhage? If I had been if I hadn't been a third
So you're
low?
saying if you had been higher, it would have killed you?
Yeah.
Because you'd have had too much blood.
Well, your blood pressure goes so high you have a stroke. Like I talked to a lady who was doing like a marathon, like an awareness marathon. And I was like, oh, I had that. And she goes, oh my God, you survived. Like her daughter went to the hospital, had her baby, brought her baby home. And a week later she had a stroke and died.
Wow. That's fucking crazy.
Why did I not know about
I
that?
cannot believe there's not more awareness about that.
Why is that not something that they tell you about? Hey, when
They
you
should
go
tell you
home,
about that.
So what are the
first.
signs of it?
Like
Headache.
headache.
High blood pressure. You can feel high blood pressure.
if you know what you're,
If
you
know
just
what,
had a baby, you don't know.
Okay, so immediately you should keep moms in the hospital for 5 days after a baby.
well, you can't.
Or send
though.
them home with a blood pressure monitor.
Yeah.
Be like, you need to be taking your blood pressure every 4 hours for the next 2 weeks.
Yes.
How hard was that?
Not hard
Yes.
at all.
Not hard at all. And that would save lives.
Yeah.
My blood pressure was so high, my internal organs hurt. That's how I knew. I was like, my stomach hurts. I don't know why. And so they took I was getting
What
ready
is your
to
blood
leave.
pressure? Your blood pressure is how fast your blood's moving through your body,
It's
right?
the force with which your blood is moving through your body.
So is it a heart rate thing?
No.
It's just moving. What makes it
Your
higher?
heart. But it's like your heart squeezing too hard. Your body's working too hard moving
pressure.
blood around.
Yeah. So if you have high blood pressure, it means your heart has to work harder to move your blood.
Right. And it can cause like, literally there's too much pressure in your brain. That's why you get headache. And there's too much blood pressure in your organs. Like more, it's like overinflating a tire.
Ugh.
I really did need something else to be anxious about.
Sorry. Well, you know what? Just next time.
Wow, we
be
went from
aware.
really happy surrogacy
Sorry.
story.
Look, I'm going to leave that in because
Here comes Debbie
this
Downer.
is why the United States has the highest maternal mortality rate.
Because they don't give you a blood pressure
Because they
machine.
don't give a shit. You had the baby. No one gives a shit. No
Yeah.
one gives a shit.
Are you gonna leave
had
this
the
in
baby.
here?
Yes, I am.
Hell yeah.
You just had the baby and they send you home. They're like, you did your job. Good job walking uterus. Please have another one. Thank you ever so much. And that's it. They don't care.
Yep.
They're like, well, it's got a dad.
That's
It's got
how I...
grandparents. It's fine.
Jeez.
Dads can't. Oh, I said this. I don't know how you're going to feel about this as mothers, but it was all my... So the girlfriends that I went to see this weekend are the group of girls group of women who there are 4 of us that are unmarried, over 35, no kids. Like, there's a lot of us out there. And I'm just lucky that I still have other women. Because sometimes women don't want to be your friend if you don't have kids. But thanks for being my friends anyways.
A lot of married women don't want to be friends with
Single women.
single moms.
I know.
It's so annoying.
Well, I'm single. I'll be your friend.
It's
Thanks.
fine. I don't mind. I have
Yeah.
both kids and I'm married and it's
You
fine.
don't give a
I
shit.
don't give a shit.
That Libra Mars. Hell yeah. But I said, we were talking about kids. I was like, I don't want to be a mom. I want to be a dad. I want to go to work, come home. You know, like
would
dad
love a
in
wife.
the traditional sense.
Yes.
Can
I
you
want a
imagine
wife.
having a wife?
That is the shit.
Hell yeah. Taking some
Having a wife has got to be the coolest thing
the
ever.
fucking coolest
Yeah.
thing.
Your food just shows up. Your dishes just get washed.
Yeah,
Your
someone does the
clothes just stay
laundry.
Your
clean.
babies are bathed and clothed.
For
and-
me, I'm just like, or even just someone who does half that shit.
Yeah.
If someone took my trash out, I would just
Die.
cry.
I know. Can you imagine if someone had to take the trash? If someone took the
Well,
trash,
Matt takes the trash out.
yeah, he does.
I'm also more or less off duty after 6.
yeah,
So,
yeah, that's great.
I mean,
Shift work.
yeah.
Shift work works, but I mean, I just thought that was funny because I've always felt like that. Though, is that I don't want the mom role. I just don't think I wouldn't do it well without a good partner.
You got
It
to
would be too
have
much.
a partner.
I'm not the kind of woman that could do the mom role the way some moms do. Like,
we have good friends. The dad's the stay-at-home dad, and the mom works at Red Hat.
hell yeah.
So she goes, makes money, comes
he-
back, and he's the stay-at-home dad.
I love
That sounds like the life to me.
Yeah, and she said that was her question every time she went on a first date was like, how would you feel if I worked and you were the stay-at-home dad? And if they were like, hell no, she was like, done, then we're done.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I love that.
Yeah, I would rather.
Know what you want in life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I want
half the
eyebrows
battle.
Like that.
Like 'em.
I do like them.
They're fresh.
All right. Well, this is fun. Thank you for the
Oh,
girl
are we
talk, everybody.
turning
Got
it
to go.
off now? So
I've
we're
got
talking
to
about
go.
eyebrows?
No, sorry. It's
I know,
'cause
it
we're
is
at like an
9
hour and 20
o'clock,
minutes.
yeah.
So. It was a good girl talk edition.
It
Yep.
was. Okay, bye.
Until next time, friends.
See you later.
Bye.
Follow us on the Instagram.
Is it hot in here or is it just me? Tuning in to hear these 3 chatting about fantasy novels of the spicy variety. Not your average book club if you know